Hi students, welcome to our new lesson on relative velocity. Whenever you hear of the word relative, it means it has to do with more than one. Just like when we were doing relative density, it means we were comparing the densities of two substances, another substance and water being our reference substance. So when we say relative velocity, then it means we are looking at two velocities, right? More than one velocity. So where you have reference point. Right. So let's look at the mathematical definition. When we say relative velocity, what we mean is when you have two bodies, let's say you have two bodies, let's call them X and Y. All right. And each X is moving with velocity Vx and Y is moving with velocity Vy. Then when we talk about the relative velocity of Y, when we say relative velocity of Y, what do we mean by relative velocity of Y? We write it as Vyx. Relative velocity of Y means there has to be another point. If you are saying relative, then it means you have to compare that velocity with another point. So relative velocity of Y, or you say velocity of Y relative to X. Relative to X means here X is the reference point, right? It is written as is given by the velocity of Y plus the minus velocity of X. So that is what the definition means. That is the mathematical definition of relative velocity. So take note of that. So that the position and the direction which the bodies are moving will determine how X will see the other one. So here, let's take it from there. Then I want us to note, as we move on, you are going to appreciate what I'm saying over here clearly. When you take parallel vectors, conventionally, that is, we are assigning positive when two bodies are moving with velocities. When the bodies are moving east or northwards, we assign positive to their velocity because velocity is a vector quantity. Don't forget. So anytime you have parallel vectors, let's say one moving this way, these ones, their velocities are positive. North, if you have velocities this way, you assign positive to their velocities. Let us take note of that. We will be using it in our calculations. Then negative, when the bodies are moving south or west. So when you have a body moving in this direction, I think I have interchanged it rather. East is this way. So if it is going this way, east or north, this is positive. So this one gives us positive. And if it is so, this becomes positive velocities. So here conventionally you assign positives. And if they are moving westward or southward, due south, so this becomes negative. How do we use these ones? We are going to appreciate the usefulness of this in our next lesson. So let me introduce it and end here, and we will continue in lesson 2. Thank you. Goodbye.